What is going on, everybody? What is going on, the Catch fam? It is Lord Big Ed here with your must-start kickers for Week 4. We've had 3 great weeks, and we are excited for an even better Week 4 where these kickers are going to dominate. If you are not already a part of the Catch fam, we certainly encourage you to hit that subscribe button below and join the best community in all of fantasy football. Also, encourage you to get in those comments and leave any questions you have in terms of how to set up your teams ahead of this weekend's slated games at the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, kicker, or defense positions. Guys, we want you to win some ball games and win some championships here at the Catch. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get into the must-start kickers. Up at number 1, we're talking about Bass Man, the fisherman, Tyler Bass. He makes his first appearance here at the Catch for the kickers. Man, I love this guy. I loved him last year. He was all-time great over the past couple of years we've been doing this segment. I mean, dude, Tyler Bass is tied to Josh Allen, and he has got a leg of a Greek god. I mean, this guy can just do it. He is Zeus below the belt. I mean, this dude can pound it deep, guys. But listen to the stats on a real level. I mean, 15 fantasy points against the Washington Commanders, 8 and 13 the weeks before that. He's had a delicious series of matchups, I will be honest. I mean, he's had some green and orange matchups if you're looking at sleeper rankings, but he's got some great ones coming up too. And in particular, I like this matchup against the Miami Dolphins. The over-under is going to be ridiculous here with both these offenses. I mean, we saw Miami score a gazillion points alone against Denver. I don't think that this Bills defense is absolutely insane, even though they did just have a really good performance against Washington. I think that there's going to be a lot of fireworks, and I think both Jason Sanders on the Dolphins side and especially Tyler Bass on the Bills side is going to have a lot of opportunities, and they're going to deliver on their performances. I definitely want pieces all over this game, and I think a good, easy way, a cheap way to get into this is at the kicker position. Tyler Bass, he's been great so far, top 5, and I think he's going to be pushing for a number 1 spot if you really look at this guy's schedule going forward. He doesn't even have a bye week till week 13. I would grab him if he's available, and I would hold him as your kicker, maybe for the foreseeable future. Up next, we're talking about the number 1 kicker in fantasy and the number 1 kicker in my heart. We're talking about Jake Moody, tied to Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Shanahan, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle, the San Francisco 49ers. We're talking about Jake Moody, 23 years old, but wisdom of a 70-year-old man. This guy is just absolutely electric. Taking over for the place of Robbie Gould, he is kicking him to the wasteland, man. I mean, this Jake Moody kid is for real, guys. If you look at his stats, double-digit performances every single week this year, and he's got some awesome matchups coming up, especially Arizona up next, which just gave a pretty good performance for the Dallas Cowboys kicker, Aubrey, who I love as well. But Jake Moody going up as Arizona Cardinals, I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to be well needed too, because we're seeing this Arizona Cardinals defense is actually really, really tough. And I don't know, even though the 49ers offense moves so efficiently, one of the reasons why they win so many ball games is because they know the value of a point. And so if they get into the red zone, things get bogged up. They're not going to go for it. They're going to rely on their kicker. They're going to get these points. That's why he's getting so many attempts, getting 3 field goal attempts a game, guys. And he's got the extra point attempts, too, to give you that floor. 12 points last week, 14 the 2 weeks prior. I'm going for a 15-point week this week against Arizona. Jake Moody, can you do it for me, baby? Put him in your lineups. Get him now if he is still available, because he's going to be gone soon. Up next, we're talking about the Dallas Star, baby. We're talking about Brandon Aubrey. Zeke Elliott leaves and the real king comes in. Brandon Aubrey comes in, guys. He had 11 fantasy points last week against the Arizona Cardinals. He was the only good thing about that team, because I tell you what, the Dallas Cowboys, they put out a real stinker. Arizona Cardinals come in, they're hungry, they defend their turf, and the Arizona Cardinals with the upset. I love to see the underdog shine. But Brandon Aubrey, he's an underdog, and he loves to shine, guys. I think him going up against the New England Patriots here, this is going to be a great matchup. We've seen kickers really do business against the New England Patriots all season long. So I want to see that continue, guys. I mean, Jason Sanders for the Dolphins, he didn't really do great, but there was a lot of opportunity there. I mean, there was a block kick. I mean, special teams was happening for the Patriots there in that game. But I think Brandon Aubrey comes in there and he dominates, right? I think the Dallas Cowboys, they dominate. I think they come back hungry here. I think this defense is going to be ticked off. And I think Dak Prescott and the offense of the Dallas Cowboys, they hopefully do make a comeback here because they need it. I want to see a superpower in the NFL. I want to see these guys dominate. And I think that if you look at Brandon Aubrey, what he did before against the Jets, 18 fantasy points, guys. Just keep that in your memory here because we're going to talk about another kicker going against the Jets soon. But the Jets are absolutely atrocious against the kicker position. But in reality, this Patriots defense is going to be a sieve as well against these guys. I think Brandon Aubrey gets a lot of opportunities. We've seen a baseline of around 3 to 4 attempts so far every single game. I think he's going to have a chance for 4 to 5 attempts in this game against the New England Patriots. And he's been so consistent, guys. Trust my man Brandon and put him in your lineups. Ooh, hot diggity dog. We're talking about Harrison Butker, the teammate of Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce. I'm representing him right now. Taylor Swift, Swiftie fans all over the place are going to be rooting for my guy Harrison Butker. I tell you what, here's the catches. Little prediction, all right, forecast. Taylor Swift breaks up with Travis Kelce for Harrison Butker after the performance he delivers against the New York Jets, ladies and gentlemen, because this man had 12 fantasy points against the Chicago Bears. The Jets can't do anything other than give up points against the kicker position. Harrison Butker is going to dominate. We saw Mahomes get a little banged up. Mahomes is going to be like, yo, I don't need to be throwing touchdowns. I need to be letting my man Harrison Butker kick the ball. Well, guess what, guys? Harrison Butker is going to deliver on that. He's been one of the best kickers over the past 3 or 4 years. I don't need to keep saying that, guys. You know that, and you're attached to my man Patrick Mahomes, who is going to put him in position over and over and over again. It's just this time you're going against one of the best matchups against kicker position in the New York Jets. Obviously, they are going to be a stiff defense against the receivers. We've seen tight ends do pretty well against them, so Travis might get a touchdown to hold back Taylor Swift. But I do think that they're not going to score as many points as they did against the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to need to rely on Harrison Butker a little bit more, and I think that is going to give you a double-digit safety, and I think there's a serious upside here, maybe something similar to what Aubrey did against the Jets where he had 15-plus fantasy points, guys. I absolutely love Butker this week. I think you should go ahead and grab him. Go ahead and support this Chiefs bandwagon that's starting to grow, guys. We starting to bring celebrities into the mix. Let's do it. Last one I want to talk about here, guys, is Nick Folk. I just want to give him another shout out. Took a break from him for a bit, but still under 20% rostered. Very widely available dude. So I just want to give a shout out to this guy because he might be a little bit more available than the other names I gave a shout out to earlier. 4 fantasy points against the Cleveland Browns. Please do not let that concern you. The Browns are absolutely dominant against offenses, which ends up being absolutely dominant against kickers, guys. No points are being scored on the Browns right now. No offensive production is against the Browns right now. But guess what? That is not the same answer with the Cincinnati Bengals. We're seeing a lot of success for kickers. We're seeing a lot of success for offenses against the Bengals. And I think that's what you're going to be able to see with Nick Folk and the Titans. Listen, the Titans, they just got manhandled against the Browns. Mike Vrabel does not get manhandled a couple weeks in a row. And this Bengals team, I'm not excited. I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. But I'm not excited about this team. I'm not excited about anything that's going on there. I'm actually actively targeting against them, and I think that we can go ahead and exploit them. I think Nick Folk is going to be in line for a very similar day to the ones he had week 1 and 2. In week 1, he had 18 fantasy points, 5 field goal attempts. I could see something closer to that in this one, a little 3 to 4 field goal attempts. I could see something like that. Week 2, he had 10 fantasy points. This is going to be a game where I think Nick Folk is really needed to keep in competition, and I think it is going to be big for you guys to go ahead and target him, especially if you're in the leagues where the first 4 guys were not available. I really, really like him. With that said, guys, this has been the must-start kickers for week 4. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this video is helpful. I hope that you've been dominating at your kicker position all season long. But if you are not already a part of the Catch fam, I super encourage you to hit that subscribe button below. Join the best community in all of fantasy football and get in those comments. Let me know if you have any questions about whether it be these kickers that are available for you, or if you've got some questions about some other kickers or defenses or any other position, help you set up your teams ahead of the weekend slated games. But you know what it is, must-start kickers, and you saw it here first at the Catch.